Thank you, Heather. Good
We're live, aren't we?
ladies and gentlemen. Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. I will call the meeting to order. Geraldine, would you like to start us off?
We would like to recognize that this meeting takes place in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This territory is covered in the 1725 treaties of peace and friendship. We are all treaty people and as such have responsibility to each other and to this land.
Thank you, Geraldine. Heather, is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to speak? There is not. All right. Item 3. Are there any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion, please, to approve the agenda? Thank you, Gloria.
Second.
Thank you, Randy. Moving on to the minutes, 4.1, the minutes of Wednesday, March the 20th, 2024. Are there any requested corrections? Not, may I have a motion, please, to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Randy. Second, Gloria. Thank you. Having said all that, all those in favor?
Oh, yeah.
I think I forgot to do that after
Yeah.
the approval of the
Yeah, yeah.
agenda.
You may assume that no one screamed, stop.
That's right. In the minutes under 5.4,
This is the monthly meeting, yeah?
yes, of March
Yes.
the 20th.
On March the 20th.
Motion 2420. The intention is for the costs to come from the current year budget. Is that still the intent, Heather? Or is there an issue?
It's actually not possible. I had Lawrence, the auditor, was in the other day. And Maxine and I were confirming with him that even if the PO has been issued in the previous, in 23-24, if the work is done in 24-25, it has to be invoiced to
Yeah, there's no
24-25.
invoice is the issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that begs the question, does that paragraph need to be deleted from the minutes?
No, it needs to be corrected in these minutes under new business
All right,
or old business.
whatever.
You
Monkey-
can't-
How about monkey business?
Yeah, but you can't change the minutes. You can simply say we made an error of judgment or whatever, and the accountant has corrected.
That's
that.
under new business, right? Yeah.
I'm not
We
sure.
haven't
it's
run
under new
across
or-
this sort of thing before.
Well, business arising, it's under
Yeah.
business arising,
Okay, well.
Yeah.
I guess
so we can just correct that.
Thank you so much, Geraldine.
Well,
Now we're moving to the special meeting 4.2, Monday, April the 8th, 2024. And I don't see any lines on my copy. Are there any corrections there? Hearing no corrections, may I have a motion, please? Thank you, Laura. Second. Thank you, Gloria. All in favor?
Right.
There we go. There. Yeah. We have business arising.
which,
And I would like to make a motion to amend motion 24020 on page 5 of
March
the
20th.
March the
March the 20th.
March the 20th minutes. After consultation with the accountant, it has been determined that we can't post the charges to this project to the 23-24 budget. Therefore, I move that we post the charges to the 24-25 budget.
Okay, a second.
Sure, I'll second.
Thank
That
you, Randy.
Takes care of the problem then,
Moved by
doesn't it?
Geraldine,
It does, thank
seconded
you.
by Randy, all in favor?
I
I think that was a procedural misstep actually
Yeah.
on my part.
Well,
I think it should have been amended at the time of the approval, but
we tried it and it didn't, it wasn't.
these
legit.
things happen, Nancy.
yes, they do. So we have reports. The clerk treasurer, over to you, 7.1, Heather.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So in my activity report, we just have a few updates on the Lido that we are slowly ramping up for the 2024 season. The accessibility audit of the Lido and public washroom facilities is confirmed to take place on the third week of May. The revised engineering report on the Lido exterior wall is expected this week with text and drawings for the RFP to follow next week. Interviews have commenced for lifeguard staff, and I hope to have hiring completed by the end of April, early May. Looks like we're in good shape for available possible staff, so.
It's good. All available days then? No, yeah, no dark days or whatever they call it.
I think we should be in better shape for that. Accessibility, Avon's is beginning a series of accessibility lunch and learns to support staff leads on implementation. The first one was on accessible signage and wayfinding, which will be quite helpful on the Heritage Sign project. The Association of Nova Scotia Villages had its quarterly meeting on April 11th. It appears that most villages responded to the question of hiring an executive director the same way this commission did, with approval in principle and awaiting costs. Economic development, a Hallmark Christmas movie, as we all saw coming in today, is shooting in the village this week and next. Please enjoy the wintry decorations on Pleasant Street while they last. And Commissioner of Oaths, I've been appointed a Commissioner of Oaths by the Minister of Justice in my capacity as clerk treasurer. So this allows me to administer oaths, take and receive affidavits, statutory declarations, and affirmations. The village can offer this service to the public free of charge. And as a bonus, I will be able to swear in the newly elected commissioners
So we will
in June.
pretend that we're in Parliament.
I think you've been after this for a while.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah.
It took quite a while before
Yeah.
I heard back.
Good.
Congratulations,
Yes,
Heather.
congratulations, Heather.
I'm happy to have another kind of useful service that we can offer to residents
Yes.
that doesn't
Free.
require going to a notary
To
public.
Pam or somebody,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're now on equal footing with the MLA.
Yes.
Does the MLA actually have that power?
Yeah, they do.
As soon as they're elected, they have it. They don't even have to do anything. They're commissioner votes as soon as they're elected.
7.2, financial report.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Scotiabank, the March 2024 bank statement has been reconciled for the summary report on the next page. We started the month with 900,000 plus in the bank and ended with 841. With a note that there was a 15,991 insurance payment that was dated for, it's a cost for 24-25, and the bank cashed it early in error. So it doesn't quite match up, but that discrepancy will get cleaned up next month. 23-24 year end, I'm currently working on Q4 and year end budget reconciles. An interim Q4 budget variance report is included tonight, but please note this is subject to change. There are very likely some invoices outstanding. We got one this afternoon. And there may also be adjustments from the auditor. So a final budget variance report will be brought to a future meeting. Not sure yet if it'll be next month or the month after. It just depends on when everything is finished. The village bank accounts and audit, per our SAGE advisor, the SAGE business account for the Chester Fire Services Committee cannot be opened until the 23-24 audit is completed, so that opening balances can be entered for 24-25. The auditor was on site on Monday. I will advise when I have a target completion date. We're hoping to expedite the audit for this reason. And whether the audit committee meetings need to advance in the calendar. Obviously, the first one doesn't because it's on Monday. And thanks to the commission motion on April 8th, the 23-24 budgeted fire apparatus reserve deposit of 200,000 was transferred to the main CFSC bank account so that bills can be paid for the fire department. Checks on this account have to be handwritten until the SAGE company is opened and accounts entered. Reserves, the 23-24 budgeted deposits to the Lido Pool Reserve of 30,000 and the EMC Building Reserve have been completed and will appear in the April reconcile. Bank reconcile, I should say, because those payments have now come out. Grants, we were successful in qualifying for the 2024 National Safe Swimming Recovery Program, which covers costs for lifeguard training and a portion of salary for the trainee. Currently, one of our staff fits this profile, and it's to be seen whether any of our part-timers can as well. The total reimbursement figure, we won't really know until the end of the summer. 24-25 contracting, per the approved village budget, suppliers have been contracted. Including IT services, website cleaning, summer compost collection from mid-June to mid-September, public washroom cleaning and garbage, a new printer photocopier lease. The proposed maintenance contract follows later this evening. And no CRA workshop this month. So,
Thank you, Heather. Do you want to go through anything more in any other more detail?
just the comparative income
Okay.
statement, I thought I would look and see if, just explain a little bit about. I have the odd figure in blue that I sometimes have to.
That's a
explain.
credit, isn't it, or something?
No, it's just a
Yes.
flag that it's,
Hmm.
the HST rebates that we received this year for the,
Yeah.
all
The
the
back
outstanding
stuff,
quarters.
yes.
All of it arrived this year, so we have to claim all of it as revenue. So
For this
this,
fiscal.
for this, for,
Oh,
the
interesting.
2024. So,
24.
that's our portion of the rebate, and there's a larger portion that's on the fire side.
Mhm.
And then the offset grant we've seen before, but that's just to note that those were.
So looking at the comparative income statement, so to follow up on Randy's question, the numbers in blue are, you would say they're placeholders?
Yeah, they're placeholders, or they're a bit of a note, for example, on page 19.
Oh, yeah, this past the bank.
Under office equipment and programs, I've got 9,500 in blue.
Mhm.
That's just to show that the 4,500 plus the extra 5,000, but it's not included in this total.
I was actually looking more at the revenue side.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
Yes,
That $34,000 there.
But that
Yes.
is a guesstimate of how much of the HST rebate belongs to the village.
oh, I went through all of it, that's.
So it's
this is the
split, is
figure.
it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because we
good.
get,
That's what
when we get the
I thought.
rebate currently, up till now. All of the costs for fire and village, because they were combined, I had to. Create some more spreadsheets to separate which ones were village and which ones were.
So they're
fire.
broken out. Heather.
They're all broken out,
Okay,
yeah.
so what you see here is VOC.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
How come the fire is so large?
They have a lot larger purchases. And this,
Oh,
and
yeah,
yes,
we bought it.
and it's
Fire.
not, yeah, and it's not just 1 year, that's. That's
3
2
years,
years,
2
yeah.
years.
yeah.
So,
Okay, so
yes.
blue doesn't automatically mean a credit then. I see it's in the credit column, then they're red in the other column, so I figured, Okay,
Randy, do you have any questions on the village comparative income statement?
oh, this one? No, I looked at the notes, they all seem to definitely kind of cover anything I would say. There was one, no, not on this, it's on the variance one yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
Okay. And then we have the, lots and lots of notes, and then we have the, fire. Variance report, so that shows there the amount of the HST rebate that goes to them.
Oh, I'm sorry, Heather, did we bypass Village of Chester's variance report?
Oh, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I thought that you were gonna go on to that.
Oh,
And fire, I
Yeah,
looked
the
at it,
comparative,
This one here, I had a few questions on, yeah.
Yes, but
That
what,
was the page that you were on.
19.
The question.
thank you. 19, okay,
Basically, okay, should I?
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
please.
Why are we paying WCB on the commissioner honorarium? I don't understand that. Why is that?
Because
You might fall down the stairs and break your.
So it's required.
Yes,
I'm sorry, I
yes.
just, it was never broken out that way before.
Honorarium is considered employment.
Okay, that's fine. What was the other thing? Nothing there. I think note 8 and note 9 are reversed. Note 9 should be where note 8 is, and note 8 should be where note 9 is, I believe, from my reading.
You are correct.
Yeah, well,
God,
He usually is.
You're right.
yeah, well, it's rarely I get an obvious one like that, but I could see what happened. They got
I
switched.
think I moved them.
And it was the titles that gave it to me. It wasn't like any financial acumen or anything on my part. Number 10. I don't know. Employment is, I guess before I get into the specifics, I wanted to make an overall request. This may not be legit, it may. Do any of these ones where we were severely over budget on this one? Have we successfully, is there any material difference into this year's budget that will cover such
Yes.
roughly? I mean, I realize it
Yeah,
could
if
be.
you look back,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gave, what was it, CPI 4% or
we
something.
gave CPI, but in some cases with like items like something like the supplies, for example. We did just bump it up because there was a pattern of a couple of years.
Oh, yeah, I meant to look,
So-
I do a comparison, but
Yeah,
I just
if you
didn't.
look at the budget document, the other columns.
Yes.
Show the budgeted and actuals, and when I did the first pass of the budget.
Yeah.
I was taking that in consideration.
But yeah, but this is
Fine.
year end, so now
Yeah.
there should be no changes really
Correct.
in the static items that are, okay.
Yeah, unless
So-
we get more surprise invoices.
Yeah, and so the fact that or that, where is it? Employment, 50, on page 19, 54, 47, and 48. They're like 40% over budget.
right.
And is that, did we, 54, 47, and 48?
Oh, yes.
Now, did we account for that in the new budget?
Yes.
Are we still, yeah. Did we make enough allowance is what I'm trying to say. There was, is there anything here that came to your attention that we really messed up on budgeting in the 24-25 budget? That, because some of these are quite significant.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
hopefully,
No,
yeah.
We were able to get actual figures of what
Yeah.
CPP was gonna be
Mhm.
for this year, and same with employment insurance, so all of those updated figures.
Now, the
are-
liability
in our new
insurance is the same thing. It's like,
Yes.
we're 22% over. Did we account for that in the budget?
Yes,
I guess I really should have looked at all this stuff myself, but I couldn't find the emails to lay
it's
them all
all,
out.
if you look at the approved budget, those
Yeah.
columns are still in there, so you can see where.
But
that
now
was
there's a
taken
little
from.
more money in them now, so it could be different. And I just didn't want us to, these ones where you're 40 and 50% over what we had budgeted
Makes
for.
you nervous, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I wanted to see that when we budgeted this year, we covered all that.
Yeah, we did.
And we won't be down again next year necessarily. I understand it could happen. So I have a lot of new budget, new budget, there was one here. I'm a little, I know Nancy just asked this question, 5495 on page 19. We're still on page 19.
Mhm.
Nancy, I think, questioned the 9500 entry there.
Which number is it?
5495, yeah,
On page.
Yeah, that's the.
on page
The
19.
original budget was for 4,500.
Yes,
In
I
July,
read the notes.
yeah, in
but I-
July, the commission added 5,000, so I was trying to show what the actual was compared to what that number had become.
Yeah,
Although
because
the
that was
total's not in there.
unbudgeted at the time.
Correct.
We added it on later on.
That's right.
Yeah. but
So we're
everybody's.
still under budget.
Yes,
That one.
Yeah,
yes, I
and it's
agree,
not included.
but I
it's
just didn't
excluded
know
from
where the figure came
Yeah.
from, basically. And 16, streetlight maintenance.
Yes, this is actually an update I have because we.
That would be on page 19 again for
Under
5526.
protection. So in fact, that's another one that we found out from Lawrence that. The POs were issued, like this work was ordered a couple of months ago. But it took so long for the materials to arrive that they were actually installed on
Oh, it's
April.
done.
It's
Okay,
done.
okay.
They were installed on April 3rd, so just a couple of days after the year end, but because that's when the
Oh,
work was
okay.
done. It's gonna, that will stay zero.
So we didn't allow for that, did we?
No, and that is,
In the budget.
that is something that, because. We hadn't allowed for that, but this is something we can look at the operating or utility reserve.
Yeah, okay, that's
So-
fine. So it can be corrected, I guess.
Yes.
Can I have one question?
Sure, go
on
ahead,
page
Geraldine.
19?
I'm still looking.
I'm sure that we've been told 1,000 times and it's gone out of my head, but what is the $3,000 expenditure for consultants?
There isn't one. That was what was in the
Oh,
budget.
We budgeted that,
Wow.
yeah.
But we didn't spend it.
Okay, tourism.
It's more of a TBA, I think.
Okay.
So why is under tourism attraction, page 20, number 5590? Why is that 1288 in there in blue? What's the deal there? I'm sorry, I'm missing that.
That one
Up
is,
line.
On the site, the pins and the, and
Oh,
the green,
yeah,
the blue lights.
blue lights and the village pins.
oh, that's what all that stuff is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought it was the
No,
note,
and
note
the-
about it didn't really mention that specific thing. I just wondered why it was in blue, I guess is why I was wondering about
I
that.
actually had that one in blue because again, I was thinking that the POs that have been issued for that
Okay.
project could come
That's
in
cool.
this year, but it won't. So
And here,
that
and
too will have. to
yeah,
get
we're quite a
this
bit.
year.
Operations is quite, well, somewhat significantly over budget, although I don't really know why. Oh, I see. It was the
The
maintenance and
compost is so
landscape.
expensive.
Oh,
The
the compost
compost.
washrooms.
Oh, okay, so. I guess, again, my question is all this, did we cover all this stuff in the new budget so that we're still, all right?
We got numbers from the supplier, but we also reduced the period
Sure.
of time that we do the collection.
Oh,
by
no, I'm
a
talking
little
about,
bit either end.
I'm talking about 5585.
But it's
Yes.
just,
500 bucks.
Well, yeah, I guess it isn't that much, but I guess what I'm thinking about is that a reasonable figure for next year in
think
the
so.
budget? Okay,
Yeah, in
that's good.
most of these cases, I just took the actuals and put those in.
I just
Did
mostly
you
looked
allow
at
for
sections
inflation?
where they're,
Yeah, I would take the actuals, especially if it looked like a pattern,
Yeah.
and then add CPI to that, so
Okay.
that we are hopefully covered.
okay, that was it. Yeah, basically, the reason I asked these is I looked at the unbalanced parts of the budget, like operations and gym lot and stuff, they all come in over budget, so that was why I was asking the
however, if you
questions.
look at the actuals on the bottom of page 20. It's all good.
Well, yes, well, oh, no, I realized,
Overall,
that.
we have to
I was
win it.
looking at it item by item, thinking, well. Are we gonna get caught? I mean, why not cover off for these? In this year's budget, if we know they're gonna be high, did we in fact
We did.
make provision? That
Yes,
was
we
my
did.
question,
Well,
yeah.
clearly we have.
And that's it for me,
And
Good.
at least
Good.
until we get.
it's not really a budget question, but while we're talking about those pins, are we gonna give a pin to each firefighter at our banquet?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yay.
You're gonna
Good
couple
idea,
bags.
Laura.
We should go grab a couple while we're talking about it. because you think.
You can stand up at the front and give one to each one that gets an award. But the ones that don't get awards, they don't
They don't
get a
get a
pin.
I'll just go around, I'll just go around and put them on the tables.
Yeah.
Do
So
we
mu-
have enough?
We got it.
I'll find out how many attend
Because
that.
we don't wanna give it to every spouse and everything, maybe just to.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, just to the
members.
members, just to the members.
They're in uniforms, so it'll be easier to identify.
So is this
Or code
gonna be
given.
the last one we see for fire? Are they
It
gonna
will,
take
once
care of
we
their own
have the
stuff?
final, because
Yeah.
again, this is interim until we make sure that all the bills are in, like we just got one this afternoon, so.
There just seems to me to be a couple of whopper budgets in this particular
Do we
one.
not
Wow.
continue to get a fire report though? I mean, we're putting in a goodly proportion of the budget,
The
so,
reports.
yeah.
But we don't need to do their variance. I mean,
Oh,
it's
no.
up to them at
No,
that
no,
point.
yeah.
But I did,
They'll be getting quarterly variance reports now, so.
and they'll be dealing with them themselves, which
Yeah.
is.
Moving on to page 23.
Ah, cool.
Under the CBFB, comparative
Hmm.
income statement. The difference between the budgeted revenue and the actual revenue points out what I have been saying all along.
Well, some of this again is that 2 years worth of, there was 4 periods worth of rebates. Only one of them that was for 23-24.
And I hope the
So-
auditor has,
Hmm.
Yeah, and he directed us to show that as all of it as income for this year, as we can't go back.
Did we ever discover why it was so tardy?
I think Jeff just didn't realize it had to be done, and I don't know about the final one that would have been
Yeah.
due when Dennis was here. He made
The last
not
one was done.
he just didn't complete it before he left. So Jeff had just figured out it needed to be done, and when I came and said,
Yeah, these are overdue.
So,
So you're saying that the difference in revenues between budgeted and stuff, that's $40,000 in there, but
well, actually, the difference was 171,000
total revenue?
is up from what was.
Oh, I'm
budgeted.
sorry. Yes, excuse me. I had the columns mixed up in my. there, yeah.
And I said many years ago, when I moved to separate the general government operating reserve and the Chester Fire Department operating reserve into 2 separate reserves, I justified my expenditures, my rationale was by comparing budget to actual. And I know a budget is just a budget
Yeah.
and blah, 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 blah. But this total revenue being up what it is,
Yeah, it's huge.
just solidifies in my mind the point that I was trying to make. But we'll move
Yeah.
on.
there's a. If you look at the final page of the fire budget, page 26, I've got a breakdown there. How I would propose, assuming
Yes.
that this is the correct surplus, how I would propose distributing
Yes,
those into reserve, but that's something I'll be reviewing with Kurt.
with the committee, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be dealing, you and them will be dealing
yeah.
with this. Yeah.
So,
There was something on there in.
page 24.
Yeah, I had a
We
feeling.
have the usual issues with vehicle insurance. Up 2.5 times.
Yeah,
We did get that
really
sorted
struck
out,
me.
though.
Yeah,
Yes, and this has all been covered in the 24-25 budget.
Excellent.
oh, really good. I don't remember us dealing with it, but hey.
It's the same thing that we took.
Oh, at fire committee's budget. Yes, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
So, on page 26, we have,
Oh, 25, just let me say something on page 25. 5474 loan principal is spelled wrong. It's PRINCIP.
God, I keep changing that and it keeps coming back.
That's all.
Thank you.
I had to find one.
You know what it is?
That's spelled wrong
It's spelled
somewhere.
wrong in the system.
Oh, I bet.
So when it prints the report and then I move it all around, it's still,
oh my.
I keep missing it.
I had a
Sorry.
hard
Thank you.
grammar teacher in my day. Who
Yes.
didn't let stuff like that go through, yeah. Was
So
homonyms
you'll be
or something?
reviewing the proposed distribution with, the fire committee and the department.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. So let's move along, shall we?
Sure.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Heather.
Yeah.
7.3. Oh,
So,
that's
fire
me.
chief. Oh, yeah, we have the volunteer fire department call out sheet.
As soon as I get these pages separated, I will. Tell you,
511 is
First
the
of all-
utility truck, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
first of all, the Chester Volunteer Fire Department had its, annual general meeting on Monday,
Hmm.
15th.
Hmm.
And the following members were selected to fill leadership positions. Cody Stevens is chief. Greg Conran is deputy chief. Captains are Blake Corkum, Michaela Dory, Nick Hurdle, Daniel Jessam, Kyle Livingston, and John Waddell. The only change in that lineup is Kyle Livingston, who's taking over from Davey Richardson. The Facebook post goes on to say, after a very busy 2023 and equally busy beginning to 2024, the CVFD membership wishes to thank all community members from Middle River in the west to East River in the east and the county line in the north to the village in the south for their continuing support. Also, the CVFD thanks the Chester Fire Service Committee, the Village of Chester Commission and staff, and the municipality of the District of Chester Council and staff for their efforts and in support of fire and emergency services in the community. We hold these safe.
Yes.
Excellent.
Now, I read that. Where did I read it? Because it's not in our
Facebook.
package. Facebook. I knew I'd read it.
Yeah. There you go. And here's the chief's report, and it was delivered April 3rd. Yes. Good evening. The CVFD responded to 9 medicals, 2 investigations, 1 power line arcing, 1 mutual aid for inshore boat, 1 assistance to EHS in the month of March. Our regular monthly training focused on hose deployment and hose advancing. We also finished up our self-contained breathing apparatus face fits to ensure all our members wearing SCBA are in the proper mask. We have a large-scale mutual aid practice coming up in September at Mybeck in East River. It will be a 2-part event. Day 1 will be a practical evolution on site for all our mutual partners and more. The second day will be a tabletop exercise led by the Regional Emergency Management Organization. Our members, along with members from other departments, are continuing their National Fire Protection Association 1001 Level 1 firefighting training. Firefighter training. The CVFD is recommending we keep the current 511 for a period of 12 months. That's the old utility truck. After the new unit goes into service later this month. The point of this time will be to determine if a second utility is required to support the service we deliver to the community. We will work with Heather on this to collect relevant data to make a data-driven recommendation. Thank you, Cody Stevens.
Thank you, Cody.
We're certainly grateful that Cody and Greg will continue. to
Yeah.
our-
Continuity is very
Yes.
good.
Madam Vice Chair.
Yes, the accessibility, Heather very kindly included the minutes of our last meeting. One of the items which you may find of interest is, the Department of Renew Affairs has given some guidelines on land acknowledgement. And, one point is make it as simple as possible. The fewer words, the better. And, they prefer, like, I used to love the words unceded, non-surrendered, but boy, I got my fingers slapped by the department because our Mi'kmaq people have never signed a treaty
Right.
to say unceded or unsurrendered. And so they obviously work under the Peace and Friendship
It's
Treaty.
theirs.
Yeah, so we have developed a new land acknowledgement, very similar actually to what we've been working here. The only difference is that we take up the middle line, and if you're willing, I would give that to Heather to use for our future
Fantastic.
meeting.
Certainly, yeah,
Is
makes
that
sense.
okay? So it's only 2 sentences, but it's very simple but direct and recognizes the land acknowledgement. The other thing that's been happening, which doesn't affect us, but it's been affecting a lot of organizations, and if you're on boards, you might pipe up. People are trying to be good people, are recognizing the Black communities and whatever community they're doing, and so what you need to say is, you can do that, but don't do it with the land acknowledgement because you're being disrespectful. It's only the Mi'kmaq whose land was taken from them. So you can recognize the Black communities if you choose, but in a different space.
Mhm. That makes sense.
So that's my report, and next meeting we'll have a slightly different land acknowledgement.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, that's
Darby.
fine, yeah.
We have part 8.
Geez, everybody's doing coughing here.
Yes.
I'm allergic to my rescue cat, but he now owns the house and I'm just a renter, so I'm stuck with it for the rest of
Cats
my
are like
life.
All right, I'm going to put the rest of this package away because I have my own package with regard to
Oh, the grant thing,
grants.
yeah.
You want me to leave for the Heritage
No,
Society?
we're not allowed to talk or vote on the ones that we have to recuse ourselves from,
Or,
but we can be involved in the other 4.
and you mustn't cross your eyes or
Slide,
or
be
do
Trumpy.
anything.
But just being a member doesn't disqualify, does it?
Only,
No, no,
only
Only
here,
if you're
like,
related.
like for me, because I'm related to the manager of the.
Yeah, yeah,
club,
okay, so
okay?
things that are direct.
Yeah, and
are
Gloria has
relationships.
very close relations
Yes,
with the.
her mother-in-law,
Heritage
yeah,
Society,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah.
So when we get to those particular ones, Gloria will recuse herself from Heritage and I'll recuse myself
You
from
can put
the.
your head down and have a little snooze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Go
I
get
have
yourself
any,
a cup of tea.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think I
joined the
have any
Heritage
stuff.
Society, but I
Yeah.
don't know if I'm.
no,
I'll
that
read
doesn't
them.
matter.
No, I'm a member
Oh,
too,
right.
and it's just being a member is a member.
We've got some work to do here. The first off is the Chester Municipal Heritage Society. Geraldine, would you like to start us off?
Sure. Of course, it's the last one here. Now, I had a little bit of difficulty with, I didn't really understand what item 2 was, respect the available village infrastructure, so I sent a note to our esteemed clerk treasurer. And she just said essentially it's being respectful of the stuff around, like
Properties,
don't
things.
destroy things during your
Use
event.
what's there rather
Yeah.
than. It's use what's
Or-
there first and don't do damage.
And don't tie up
And-
traffic and that
and
sort of thing.
Is the group providing additional infrastructure like porta potties?
So,
Oh, now,
Uh,
see, I did not read that into there.
Well, I did. so-
Okay.
But it doesn't matter.
The only thing with the Chester, obviously, we all respect and deem them to be valuable to the community, but I didn't feel that they had a specific plan to attract visitors.
who's this we're talking
The
about?
Heritage
Oh, okay.
Society, obviously, you know, it's Chester and it's heritage, but I didn't feel they had a specific plan that said, say, reached out with advertising to outsides of the area and so on. I may be wrong about that, but when I read the grant, I didn't feel that there was an active promotion, which is not a big deal, but it's just, that's part of it. Event or initiative must be open to the public, obviously, yes. Received the application by the deadline. Has the organization applied for and or received funding from the village before? And Heather gave us the list, and the Heritage society of all of our groups has been the most lucrative recipient of our funds in the past. I couldn't answer demonstrated impact to attract tourism. It's the July 1st event, and to me, that's highly likely to be an event that's for the community. I don't think that's a negative, but it's factual that the event is meant for the community and not meant to attract visitors or unless they happen to be in the village in a B&B or something, but I don't feel it's attracting people from outside.
It could be attracting people from outside the village within the municipal area. But once again, these descriptors are.
Yeah, I'm just using the word impact to attract. In other words, I go back to the media
Mhm.
role. I'm not saying that that's a horrible negative or anything. I'm just saying that that's not included in there.
Well, some of these could be, the wording could be revised.
It could be. Benefit the community at large, definitely. I think it's probably one of our most important Canada Day events. The organization demonstrated a financial need for grant funding, obviously. And for large projects, evidence of project funding sources and partnerships other than the village commission, they did seem to have some outside resources. Do we choose to comment on the fact that they seem to have demonstrated a weakness in their ability to manage monies? I don't know. Okay, so I will go back to my numbers.
Did you get a final score?
I have a wishy-washy score. Because I didn't feel that they really demonstrated an outreach to attraction of tourism, although if there are tourists in the area, I'm sure that they would gladly participate. Out of 40, I only gave them 25.
What was your total out of 100?
Oh, 60, 80, 85.
Thank you. Randy, would you like to go next?
Okay, I'm going to, what's the word, admit right at the beginning, I did not play the
The
game.
numbers game.
I read the proposals, I looked at what Heather had said their ask was. And somehow in my poor tired brain, I ground the numbers up and I didn't really worry too much about all the intricacies of tourism attraction and yada, yada, yada. I don't work that way, I'm sorry, I'm just
That's
not
okay.
good that way.
Yeah.
And once I read their proposals again and what they intended to do and what we gave them last year. And total ask, I believe, was 15 grand amongst all of them. So I said, well, first of all, we gotta get 5 grand out of there somewhere because we don't have 15 grand. So do you need the whole list from me or just,
No, you could just.
oh, I have
say-
numbers, but Geraldine just worked on the Historical Society, so,
Well, we're just
yeah.
Just
do
Go
what you
ahead.
want.
I'll give you my numbers,
Okay.
okay? But based on the fact that I guess you could, a nebulous feeling in my own mind.
That's good.
I don't do these forms very well, yeah. So I said, Heritage Society, 3,300 as opposed to 3,000 they got last year.
Okay,
Okay, let me see how these work out.
merchants,
Merchants, I thought that was a really big ask, really big.
yeah.
I was not prepared to commit that much to the merchants, bless their hearts. But last year, they only came looking for us, what was the amount last year? I forget now. Yeah, or something. And I thought, well, that was more in line with what I thought it was all worth. But I upped them to 2,400 for this year. The Natal Day concert, that's double what they got last year at the Playhouse.
Don't
And-
forget, this is their ask, not what they.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but this is how I made my decision. This lady that they have coming, apparently is a big reggae star or something,
Jamila.
whatever.
She's very good, yeah.
Yeah, she might very well be, but she's pricey. And sorry, I don't buy what was the ask this year?
$49.50.
Yeah, no way we should be doing the whole thing for them. I'm guessing that's a good chunk of what's. She listed out all the room rates for the band and everybody else and whatnot. I don't think personally that reggae is a big thing in Chatsworth as a
People
rule.
People would come to see.
They
her.
might,
She's-
well, I mean, yeah, if you think differently, that's
No,
fine.
she's
I
terrific.
said 2,300. That's all I was willing to go on that. I think they're getting ahead of themselves a little bit. The Arts Center actually had a lower ask this year than they did last. And I was quite prepared to say, well, they only won 11 this year. They had 25 last year. I thought that was,
Their director is gone, so this is,
what.
from last year.
Yeah, but
so-
I guess I'm just saying that I felt that they were one of the few that actually wanted less than what we gave them last year.
Yeah.
I said, sure, give them all what they want, 1,100 was it, or whatever, something like that. And the yacht club the same way. I figure they're having a big spread this year. Blue Nose is coming in, they're having a sort of like a
They've got the
craft fair.
juniors. Yeah.
And yeah, all kinds of extraneous things that they're promoting to the yacht people and whatnot. I thought that was a legitimate ask. They came from 500. I said, I'm going to give them 800. And that takes it to, I think, 9,900, I believe. I couldn't quite make it work out to $10,000.
Give one of them $100.
So those are, I don't know if you want to
Yeah, for
write them
players.
down anywhere to do an average or what.
Jotting all of
Yeah.
this down.
I'm sorry to say that I couldn't go through it piece by piece by piece by piece like
That's right,
Yeah.
everybody
Geraldine
does things
did.
differently.
Well,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be apologizing.
Yeah, like me.
Like
Yeah.
you. Do you want to go, Laura?
Well, I'm in the same boat. I was a little slack on this homework, but we do have to keep, that is our mandate is tourism, right? So, I thought the Heritage was, well, they found themselves in a little bit of hot water. I just had them down to 3,000. The Village had a big ask. They do bring a lot of people.
It's just
which is
merchants?
The merchants, yeah. So
I just thought it was.
but
huge.
5 is a lot,
jump.
so I
Yeah.
had 2,500 for them. The Playhouse, I think they're trying really hard, they're having a hard time to get back on their feet since the fire. They're not making much money on these movies and whatnot. Jamila is terrific, and if you're a CBC listener, you hear about her all the time. Juno Award winning, so I put 3,000,
What did you give Heritage? I missed that. Sorry.
3,000.
Okay,
Art Center, I put 1,000, and the Yacht Club, whatever the change is, I think 500. I just feel the Yacht Club, and nothing against your sister or anything, I just feel like they have the access to big sponsors that these other people just don't have.
What'd you
So,
give the yacht club?
I just put 500.
Oh,
I
same
think my
last year.
math is
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, I had to do the math 2 or
What did
3
you say was
times.
the Village?
Uh, 2,500, I put
25, okay,
5,000's a lot.
yeah. And a natal day, adios.
Telling me.
You don't have your paperwork?
I can't believe it.
Nancy.
I do
Wow.
have it. I do have
I
it.
think Gloria can weigh in on everything
Yeah,
but the
Gloria.
Chester Heritage Society, can't she really?
Yeah, she can do everything except
Yeah.
Heritage.
I didn't really do my homework.
All right, you think about it and I'll.
But
tell you.
I'm sort of in the same. Is what Randy has suggested.
Okay, so we'll put
Yeah.
Randy and Gloria.
Yeah.
So that leaves you, Nancy?
Actually, we don't have all of Geraldine's either, just
No.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry, Gerald.
Well, I'll
I
zip through
graded
when
them
Nancy's
all.
done.
The Heritage Society got 80 out of 100. Their presentation was poor, handwritten. And they will likely receive a substantial sum of money from MODC. So I have suggested $500 to cover hot dogs, buns, and small prizes.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys, I didn't turn my phone off.
Then the Chester Merchants Association got 90 out of 100. And I have. Sorry. Apologizing. I'm not going to apologize.
No apology.
I took all of the asks. And I gave the Heritage Society 500. And the Chester Yacht Club, a private club. Not a registered nonprofit. Business or organization. I gave them each $500. I gave the art center their full ask of 1,100. And 1,100. And then the remaining monies I divided equally between the Merchants Association and the Playhouse at $39.50 each. And that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
That's reasonable.
And actually, and in the ratings. Merchants Association got 90 out of 100. Playhouse, 90 out of 100. Art Center. Oh, 95 out of 100.
Thank you.
But they had a smaller ask, so.
That's true. But it was well presented. Maybe they should have only got 90 out of 100.
Is the yacht club a nonprofit or no?
It is a nonprofit. Well, it's not a business.
It,
Private club, basically.
It's a private club, but you can be a private club and still be
Yeah.
a nonprofit.
except they make plenty of profit at the bar, I bet.
They're very expensive to run, but I'm not
That's
supposed
what
to
I'm saying,
comment
at
on
the
that.
price of liquor, they probably need to make a profit.
Yes, Geraldine, you've recused yourself from that
Sorry.
discussion.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Everybody ignore me.
We always do.
I know.
So. What are the rest of yours, Geraldine?
Okay, the one comment I had to say about the Playhouse, I thought all of them were well done, except for the Heritage Society, which was a bit sloppy, I have to confess. But what I prefer when you apply for a grant to the commission is that you tell us specifically what you want us to give you money for, whereas the Playhouse just gave us a whole budget. You know, and then we throw something into that pot. I prefer to see, if you are asking me for $800, this is how I'm gonna spend the $800.
Gonna buy the programs or hang
Yeah.
a banner or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, I also, fall into Randy's list. So that, is Geraldine, Randy, and Gloria.
Well, now,
That list.
You have more, don't you?
I have,
Oh, what were your others?
oh,
Your
I
others
just-
from yacht club, and then,
I can't say anything about the yacht club, but the others, I said, I thought that they were well done. I was a
Yeah.
little bit unhappy about the fact that the Playhouse didn't break out how they were gonna
Yeah.
spend our money. I might have been more inclined to give them more, rate them higher if they told us how they were.
so
gonna
what were
spend
your
their money.
dollars?
Yours.
Oh, the same, okay.
well, you have,
So
Two
how do
options.
we deal with it?
you can hand it to Heather and say, figure it out, Heather. Or you can.
I could do an average if that.
Well,
You
the
could
thing is,
defer it until
Yeah.
next month.
Right.
Nancy's will be and Nancy's biggie will be always be an outlier. If you're averaging. She wanted to give it all to the Playhouse, that's gonna really skew the
No.
Well,
average.
we've got
Randy.
three
Tell me your
commissioners
numbers
with
again.
the same numbers.
Say what?
we have 3 commissioners with the same numbers. That's a majority.
Although that's,
Oh,
it's
no.
$100 under, so.
You don't wanna, yeah,
Should
well,
add
yeah,
that
I
in
didn't know what to
somewhere.
do with that.
Yeah.
Last year, I believe we kept aside a little bit of money just in case
No.
something came up.
No.
Did we give out all the 10 grand?
95.
It was 95,
Yeah, it's part of the policy that we don't accept anything after April 1st.
Oh, no, I mean, in terms of the dollar value, we only did 9,500, I think, out of the 10.
No, we only had 95 last year.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I would take the 100 and put it into the Playhouse.
I wouldn't be good with that.
Cause
No.
if we do that, then we have. 3,300 of the 35 asked for the Heritage Society. 24 of the 5,000 asked for,
We could make that
Merchants.
2,500,
Yeah, we could make that one 20.
Which one?
Merchants?
make that to
Village
25.
Christmas merch-
Oh, yeah, I could go with that. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem.
How
with that.
much for the Heritage Society?
it's 33, so,
3,300.
their ask is 3,500.
And you're gonna give them $3,300.
They got 3,000 last year.
I don't care how much they got, they're gonna get 500,000 from the municipality this year.
Maybe not in time, Nancy, to make a difference for this.
Well, this
affair.
is a specific grant for July the 1st for Canada.
Yeah, I believe that's how it
It's
was
not
presented.
it's not
Yeah.
operating funds. It's specific to a project.
And they gave back money they didn't use last year.
That was during,
No,
no,
it's
no,
2
the year
years ago.
before,
2
that
years
was
ago.
because of COVID.
Well, I
That's
have
the-
3,000, which is a bit less than.
I mean, I'm
yours.
willing to compromise. I'm
Go with
not
3.
willing to pay for Jamaica or whatever her name is, not
Formula.
$5,000 for her to come here, no. Sorry.
If,
I mean, if you
so,
outvote me, that's fine.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get consensus here, so. On Heritage, do we want to go with the same as last year at 3,000? Do you want to do the 3,300?
I vote 3 for that.
What did you say, Geraldine?
I just
33?
went with your number.
Yeah, and Gloria isn't allowed to weigh in on
Yeah,
that.
and the only reason I did that is because it's Canada Day and it's a big thing and I think it's important to the community, so I was willing to weigh in on that.
Is this all in public?
Yes, it is. So,
Well,
do you want to figure out figures tonight, or do you want me to have a couple of potential options, average, like
How about this? Well,
merging?
do we all agree on the yacht club? Their small ask,
I can't agree or
Oh.
disagree.
800.
800 on,
Yeah.
are you
Fine
okay
with
with that? I mean, they've expanded it quite a bit this year from what
Well,
it was
there-
last year.
Well, I'm not supposed to talk, but there, it's for one.
You know,
project.
you're not supposed to talk, so don't
But
talk.
I'm not
Don't
making an
talk.
opinion.
No,
I
It's
think you're not
accuracy.
allowed.
It
to,
is
yeah.
accuracy.
I don't know,
Right.
that, I still think that of the
Heather, why
four
don't
that
you pull some
apply,
numbers together and present them,
Of
and we'll make a decision next month.
of the
Okay.
four that applied, they were the smallest two asks, them and the Arts Center. So I just looked at it from the pure dollar value thing.
I'm just thinking if we approve those, the couple that we definitely know, then we can play with the other ones, is what I'm thinking. Like if everyone is
Asked for,
$800,
And that's what I was willing
that's
to give.
probably bringing more tourists than any of the other things together, private or not. So if we agreed on that, that's off the list, right? Well, so now our budget is reduced to 9,200. The art center, 1,100, smaller than last year.
Yes, quite a bit, actually.
Is that the right?
2,500
Their
last
ask
year.
is 1,100.
I'd give it to.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I
All
went.
right, so say we give that.
And
say
they're
this
having a
is-
market, I believe.
Yeah,
So that brings us now to our budget of 8,100.
So that's just the other three, I guess, that we all disagree on.
so divide it by 3.
That's not a bad idea.
yeah,
That
that
gives
works.
them each 2,700.
Yeah, I could do
How
that.
do you feel about
That
that?
works.
There you go. We don't have to wait till next month. I like it.
Better to make.
Good
a
idea.
decision.
So do we have to vote or anything, or is it
Yeah,
just
yeah,
gonna
There's
happen?
there's a draft motion But just needed the numbers to be filled in,
So
so.
what are the final figures then? Does anybody have them there?
Yeah.
Heritage 33 or
No.
2,700, Merchants 2,700, Playhouse 2,700, Art Center 1,100, Yacht Club 800.
Yeah, okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we don't do this next year.
Don't give up any grants?
No,
Was this something that always existed,
No.
or was it relatively recent?
it was recent.
It,
Before our time?
it looks like the grants started being given out in 2019.
Yeah, I see there were a bunch there.
And then prior to that, I believe it was fireworks for the
Yes,
campus.
down
It used
here.
to be here.
And that's basically why the Heritage Society, their total added up to 20,000.
Significant, yeah. But that's in 7, 8, 9 years, something like that.
Yeah, I think fireworks nowadays are kind of out of
Out of
fashion.
fashion.
Oh, yeah, nobody
Yeah.
does that. Well, few people do. So is that
So-
acceptable, Nancy? The 27, 27, 27, 1100 and 800?
It's your decision.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we're
So,
really significant.
motion, please.
Sure, I'll make the motion.
What is the motion?
I would like to move that the commission award the 24-25 community grants in the following amounts. Chester Municipal Heritage Society Canada Day Garden Party, 2,700. Chester Merchants Association Village Christmas, 2,700. Chester Playhouse Natal Day Concert, 2,700. Chester Arts Center Artists and Makers Market, 1,100. Chester Yacht Club, Chester Race Week, 800. I think that leaves us about 100 short or there, but. Oh, you changed some of the figures, yeah.
So the figures that Randy read out are correct.
Were they correct, Laura?
Yeah.
327's 11 and 8.
21, 22, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay, second to that motion. Thank you, Gloria. All those in favor?
There, now it's gone.
Carried.
Thank you.
Good compromise. Yeah, where are we? Oh,
Where are we?
I think we're.
Round table.
Oh, round table. Isn't community
Still have-
grants?
We still
No.
have in camera, I think, don't we?
Yeah, we do, yeah.
Commissioner roundtable, anybody
Anybody got
have
it?
something to say?
Embarrassingly, I'm getting an award for volunteer.
Oh.
I just had like,
Congratulations.
I had to buy new
I
clothes.
voted for you.
You what?
I had to go buy an outfit because Elena says I'm embarrassing.
Where is this, Laura? Where is it?
Municipal one.
Oh, at the office, good. Well, you certainly deserve it.
Thank you.
There's no reason.
Just telling you so you know.
There you go.
Should we offer a motion of congratulations?
And volunteering, I was there's 6 different nominees. You can look it up on the NLBC.
Okay.
But, I
Okay.
was nominated by the refugee group.
Oh. Congratulations, Laura.
Yes, indeed.
It is 7:04 PM. May I have a motion, please, to move in camera?
So moved.
Thank
I'll
you, Laura.
second.
Thank you, Randy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried, 7:04 PM.